Hey, what's happening, guys? Sorry I haven't been uploading any videos recently, as I had a death in the family of someone who was very close to me. We were planning funerals and whatnot, and so it just kind of knocked me off track a little bit. But I'm back, trying to give y'all some updated information. So. One of the last videos I was talking about in regards to the associate agent for Redfin was I think I was telling you about my interview process. So I actually started. I haven't been out making any money yet, as I just completed orientation today, which is March 21st, and that was an hour and a half. Or maybe 2 hours, about 2 hours. It's like a Zoom call, but I think it's on Google Meets, and it's you and probably going to be, I don't know, 20 or 30 other people across the country taking this orientation together. But prior to this, they called me or emailed me, let me know that they were hiring me on as an associate agent, but as an independent contractor. I'm not an employee. I had to switch over all of my I had to switch over my MLS. I had to switch over I had to call my board of realtors, which here is the Greater Baltimore Board of Realtors, and once you are affiliated with them, you're affiliated with the Maryland Association of Realtors and the National Association of Realtors. So all I had to do was call GBBR and let them know that I was switching over to Redfin. So it was my MLS, GBBR. There was one more. Oh, of course, you gotta contact your state licensing department. Here it's called DLLR, Department of Labor Licensing Regulation, and I had to go on there and transfer my license over to Redfin. So once all that is complete, they'll send you an email. There's some other steps you got to do. You got to initiate your background check, and then you also have to sign a few papers and whatnot. They'll send you like a DocuSign link. I'm not going to get into exactly what I signed, as if you are hired on, you'll see everything you have to sign, but it's a pretty quick process. So I was told, so this was pretty much, let's say about 2 weeks ago, when it was like, hey, we're going to get you started. We're going to set your start date for 2 weeks out. And they do that. I'm not quite sure why they're so specific with that. But I do remember the lady telling me they can only push that start date out once. And if they have to push it out a second time, then they'll rescind their offer for you to become an associate agent. So just make sure you get my dog. Just make sure you get all of that stuff done as fast as possible. Okay, I didn't have to have my start date pushed out. One thing I wasn't quite, I didn't really understand is, so of course, if you have any pending transactions, like a contract that you have in escrow and it's pending, they want that to be closed prior to you starting, which I really don't understand. Their rule is, as an associate agent, you can't do any sales, but technically when you have something under contract, you're not doing any sales. I had one buyer under contract for a new home in Frederick, Maryland, and they were going to go to closing on March 10th. And they said, well, we'll have your start date March 21st. And, I really didn't understand that, because I can actually quit being a realtor. It doesn't matter where I am, no matter what broker I go to. The broker I have that contract under legally has to send me my check once it closes. So I really don't quite understand Redfin's rule on that, that you can't, while something is getting ready to close, you got to wait until that closes. Luckily, this one was going to close within a couple of days from when I spoke to them initially about starting. If this was like, if it had just gone on a contract, or if we just put it on the market, I would have had to wait until it closed, which could be a month or more. So I thought that rather weird. It just didn't make too much sense to me. But it closed. No big worries in that regard. So once I did the background check and did all the papers that they wanted me to sign, here we are, March 21st, and I did orientation today. Now, prior to today, I received a few emails that basically said, hey, thank you for, we're excited that you're going to start. And they send you a few links in these emails. You can't do anything with those links until your orientation either starts or is completed. Like, nothing is active until then. The orientation went by pretty smoothly. Orientation seemed like, to me, the majority of it was really for like newer realtors, like just going over the tour, like itself. It really did generally speaking. But it also went over some Redfin specifics. But there was like, be safe. If you think something's wrong, it's better to be safe than sorry. And if you're already a realtor, like, you already understand these things when you go out and you're taking people on tours. So they go over all of those things, and then they get into some Redfin specifics. Before I can actually start taking folks out on tours, there's a few steps that I have to complete. My last step will be completed tomorrow, and I'll talk to you about that. It's just basically touring a few homes, and once that's done, it's like a mock tour. It's not really like a buyer or what have you, but I'll speak on that and let you know how that went. So hopefully you can order your, before I close this out, you can order your business cards through Redfin. They pay for them. It looks like it's going to charge you, but once you get to the end, like you check out, it just goes through. You got to set up your Redfin email account. Now, this is where it can get a little bit confusing, because I already have a Gmail account, and Redfin uses Gmail as their, I guess, service provider for their emails. So if you already have a Google account or Gmail account, just make sure that when you're setting up all of the different things that you're trying to set up, make sure you're setting it up under that new Redfin email account, okay? Just make sure, because Google will ask you like which account you want to use. You might want to click add another account, and everything you do through Redfin, make sure you do it through that Redfin email. But it will be through Google. It'll look like a Gmail account, because like I said, they're using Gmail as their email backbone. Basically, they didn't set up I don't think they're setting up their own email servers. They might have a few, but I think they're using Gmail for the majority of that traffic. So just make sure, like, when you're setting everything up, it got a little confusing to me because I already have a Gmail account. And then, and at one time I was already a partner realtor. So, I wanted to log in, and it was like, oh, you want to use your Google account. And, I inherently wanted to use my existing Gmail account, but I had to make sure, click add another account, and they'll give you that credential. They'll let you know what that is. So make sure you set all that up. So tomorrow should be my last step in the process. I got to send them. I do have some photos. Oh, here's one thing. If you are brought on as a associate agent, you need a photo of yourself against a white background. I think they said it could be white or black, but a white background. Basically wearing some casual clothes, and they need to see you from the waist up at least. Your arms and your hands can't be cut off. I have some photos, but all of my photos are, if it's my entire body, the background isn't, white or black. It's another background. So I may either have to just take another photo which I think I will do. It's just take another photo. I was trying to like Photoshop it, but it wasn't working out. So, if you're hired on, if you're brought on as an associate agent, just think about while you're waiting for your start date, go ahead and take a few photos of, somewhere in your home with a white or black background. I think it's white or black, but all the examples they showed me, they were white backgrounds. And it said you can't wear anything red or white. Don't wear anything red or white. I don't know. I guess maybe because that's Redfin's colors. I don't know. I just saw that. That's pretty much it. So tomorrow I should finish my last step. And one thing I did notice is that when I did open up when I did finally set up the Redfin email, that it was already like 20 or 30 messages in there from days prior. So they already actually assigned an email to me. I just didn't have access to it. And what I noticed is a lot of the messages in the email was like, hey, can anybody do this tour? Can anybody do this open house? We need coverage for this tour, that tour. So if you have been watching any other videos on Associate Agent or mine, you can open up a schedule and say, I will do tours or do events during this time frame. You can set when you want to actually work. That's one of the good things about an associate agent. You can turn on your schedule, turn off your schedule. So when I logged in, when I finally got that email up and running, and I saw all of this, and I said, well, I thought you can set your schedule. So, but what I realized was, I guess there weren't any associate agents who had their schedules open for those particular areas, and they were just shooting out an email saying, hey, can anybody do this? So, which I thought was pretty cool, because it was actually, like I said, it was a lot of emails in there from the past 2 weeks asking for help to tour, and it was all across Maryland. I mean, all the way up into like northern Maryland, which is probably about an hour away. I'm talking like Cecil County, right before you get into Delaware, about an hour away from me. And there was some all the way out in Thurmont, which is going towards western Maryland, past Frederick. There was some in Frederick, but there was a lot near me within. There was probably about 6 or 7 emails that needed coverage, and these homes were within a half hour, 45 minutes away. Only half hour, 45 minutes because of traffic, basically, not really because of distance. So that was really good to see. Like, there are agents out there who aren't opening their schedules during the day or during certain times, and they're going to need coverage. So what I plan to do is I'm going to open my schedule for like wide open, and I'm going to start off with like 2 weeks, but I think I'm going to leave it open for 30 days and see how much money I can make. I believe in my market that I should be able to make roughly between around 12 or 1300 weekly, hopefully, because I know the weekends is probably going to be very busy, and the evenings as well. But I was, through these emails, I was seeing 2-3 home tours during the day. And if you look at other associate agent videos, they say, well, I don't do it during the day because it's not worth it. But I mean, if it's not far from me, and I'm full-time realtor, so I don't have a problem running off and doing these things. So I'm hoping roughly around 1200. I'm actually hoping for more. But I'm thinking if I leave my schedule wide open, it really should not be a problem me hitting 1200 to 1500 bucks a week, probably even in a weekend. So we're gonna check it out, and I'll definitely keep you posted on that. That's about it. My 2022 kind of started off a little rough, but we're gonna get back in the saddle, man. Life has just been kind of hitting me. The last 3 years, I've lost my mom, I lost my father, then my mother. They were still together. Lost my mother during the pandemic, and my niece just recently. And my niece was like a little sister to me, as my mother and father actually raised her. She was 31 years old. So, so this, the pandemic itself just pretty much, damn near killing my business. and me trying to rebound. If you look back at one of my other videos, I think I titled it, I lost it all, here's how I'm gonna get it back. And then here comes this, unfortunate situation. But we gotta keep rocking and rolling. I've removed myself from social media. I shut down all of my social media accounts. They were just distractions for me, and that's not social media's fault. It's my fault. I signed up for it, so kind of removing myself and really trying to dig in. I have like several small businesses that I want to open, and I'm currently writing business plans for all of them. I've never written a business plan before, so I'm getting that done. And there are some other things that I'm trying to get done as well. So I'll keep you posted on all that. So just stay up. Be thankful to be alive, man. I know it's kind of hard, and you're looking around and you see things are kind of crazy, but keep pushing, and there's someone always there that wants you to be around. So stay tuned. Once I open my schedule, I'll let you know. I'll probably give like some weekly updates, and we'll go from there. I appreciate you. Thanks for subscribing. Leave me any messages that you like. I am in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, but more like Baltimore, and but not too far from DC, probably about 40-45 minutes out. All right, take care now. All right.